Russia's summer offensive, and this is what it really looks like. BMPs getting torn apart, tank turrets flying straight into the sky. Today, we've gathered the latest, most brutal moments straight from the battlefield, from a North Korean rocket system being wiped out to F-16 jets dropping precision bombs on Russian command centers. And here's the thing. Ukrainian intelligence spotted a North Korean rocket launcher, that's right, a 240mm multiple launch rocket system. These systems were delivered from North Korea to Russia back in 2024. They can fire at ranges between 40 and 70 kilometers. Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Connecting with viewers across the world is a huge source of inspiration for us. But none of that mattered. Ukrainian drone pilots deployed long-range FPV drones deep into enemy territory. And boom, a perfect hit. The warhead flew straight into the cockpit. Just a few minutes later, fire reached the ammo compartment. And, well, you can guess what happened next. Then came the major assault, a full-scale armored push by Russian forces. More than 5 armored vehicles were rolled out to break Ukrainian defensive lines. Tanks and BMPs moved in together. But from the very start, things went sideways. The lead tank rolled straight into an anti-tank mine and got obliterated on the spot. Now you'd think they'd stop and rethink the plan. But no, the Russians figured the smartest move was to just keep going, right through the minefield. Russian summer offensive, and here's what it really looks like. BMPs getting shredded, tank turrets flying into the sky. Today, we've pulled together the most recent and brutal moments straight from the battlefield. From North Korean rocket systems getting wiped out, to F-16 jets slamming precision bombs into Russian command centers. So here's the deal. Ukrainian intel spotted a North Korean rocket launcher. Yeah, that's right, the kind that fires 240mm missiles. These systems were handed to Russia in 2024. They can hit targets up to 40 to 70 kilometers away. But none of that helped. Ukrainian drone pilots sent in long-range FPV drones deep behind enemy lines. And boom, a direct hit. The missile punched right through the cabin. Just a few minutes later, the fire hit the ammo, and, well, you can guess what happened next. Then came the big push, a full-on assault by a Russian armored column. We're talking over 5 armored vehicles trying to storm Ukrainian positions. Tanks and BMPs rolling in. The assault wraps up when 2 more tanks hit mines and grind to a halt. End result? 3 tanks gone, 1 armored vehicle left behind, and just 1 last BMP barely manages to slip away. If you're still watching, comment 1, so I know you're still with me. But get this, that BMP? It's loaded with ammo and the crew just bails. They straight up abandon it. So, Ukrainian drone operators launch a fiber optic controlled FPV drone right at it. The pilot takes his time, lines up the approach, and flies it right through the open hatch. Boom, massive ammo detonation. Now let's switch to the pilot's POV. There's another Russian BMP spotted not far off, also abandoned. The Ukrainian drone team sends in another FPV drone. Even with heavy jamming in the area, the drone punches through, flies clean into the open hatch. Direct hit, 1 more enemy vehicle wiped off the map. Just minutes later, when the fire spreads to the ammo compartment, boom, another explosion. And again, and again. It just keeps blowing. Then, a Russian 152mm howitzer pops up on a Ukrainian recon drone's radar. Coordinates get passed to the HIMARS team, and just like that, they fire. Target destroyed. But it doesn't stop there. HIMARS launches a second missile, this time aiming at another Russian artillery piece. Another spot-on strike that artillery isn't firing anything ever again. And the Russians know it. You can see them scrambling to hide the rest of their systems. But it's too late. Ukrainian operators lock in and strike again. Even though the missile doesn't hit the howitzer directly, the shrapnel finishes the job perfectly. Another one bites the dust. A Russian 152mm artillery unit had just finished firing. The crew tries to stash it in the nearest tree line. But the Ukrainian HIMARS crews? They're not wasting a single second. A GMLRS missile comes flying in and smashes the target with pinpoint accuracy. The whole system goes up completely destroyed. Then boom, here comes another big Russian offensive. An armored group pushing forward hard. We're talking armored personnel carriers and brand new BMPs packed with infantry, kitted out with the latest electronic warfare systems, all charging full speed ahead. But Ukraine's ready. They launch FPV drones to intercept. One of the vehicles gets hit, another rolls right onto an anti-tank mine and comes to a dead stop. The Russian crews? They jump out and run. Meanwhile, Ukrainian FPV drones aren't done. They start tearing up all the abandoned hardware. End result? That whole armored group, 3 APCs and 2 of Russia's newest BMPs, is wiped out by drone operators alone. Next up, a brand new Russian T-80 tank, moving in to shell Ukrainian positions. Ukraine doesn't waste a beat. Another FPV drone is launched. It hits the engine compartment, and the tank grinds to a halt. The Russian crew jump, direct hit. APC catches fire. Then a second drone comes in, finishes it off. Precision strike. Russian assault, over. But wait, Ukraine spots something big. A Russian Pantsir air defense system, sitting deep in occupied Crimea. Time to go hunting. Ukrainian intel sends in a heavy drone. The Russians catch on fast. They see the drone heading for their air defense and open fire. Miss out and bolts. But Ukraine sends in another drone to finish the job, and this time, it's personal. The drone dives straight into the open hatch boom. Massive fireball. Tanks gone. And it's not over. Another Russian armored group is pushing toward Ukrainian lines. The plan? Deploy infantry fast, hit hard, pull back. But as usual, something goes wrong. Ukraine deploys FPV drones again. One scores a direct hit in the rear, flames shoot out. Another APC keeps rolling until it hits a mine and stops dead. Let's check in with the Ukrainian drone team. That APC? Abandoned. Drones on the way. Another Russian command post appears on the recon drone's radar. Coordinates are relayed back, and Ukraine reacts instantly. This time, they send in a MiG-29 armed with a high-precision hammer bomb. A single hammer is released from a distance of 35 miles, or nearly 60 kilometers, and it hits the target with jaw-dropping accuracy. That target never stood a chance. Next up, a Russian Nana self-propelled artillery piece. What's special about it? It can fire up to 6 rounds per minute fast and deadly. Ukraine knows it has to go. An FPV drone is launched. Direct hit. The vehicle comes to a dead stop, fire bursts out from inside. And just a few minutes later, when the flames reach the ammo storage, it happens. Boom. And here's another one. A Russian BMP loaded with ammunition, abandoned right in the middle of the battlefield. Ukraine sends in FPV drones, hitting one after another, not missing a single shot. The drone flies right into the open hatch, sending missiles streak past the UAV. But the operator stays locked on, and then, bang, target hit. Confirmed kill. Russian air defense? Gone. Then, a Russian command center is spotted by another Ukrainian drone. At first glance, it just looks like an abandoned building, but then enemy soldiers appear. If you're still watching, comment 1 so I know you're still with me. A Ukrainian F-16 fighter jet is deployed, carrying high-precision bombs, and it nails the mission. A direct strike. The bomb drops with scalpel-level accuracy, and the Russian command center? Flattened. Wiped off the map. Elsewhere, a Russian armored vehicle has taken heavy damage. Russian troops try to recover it using specialized equipment. But Ukraine is already one step ahead. They deploy a US-supplied Switchblade drone to finish the job. Here's the kicker: the Switchblade is equipped with AI to track targets autonomously. That means it can't be jammed by electronic warfare. It locks on, dives straight into the cockpit, and the vehicle is completely destroyed. Just a few miles away, a Russian artillery unit gets spotted by a recon drone. Another Switchblade is launched. Perfect strike. Enemy artillery eliminated. Moments later, the Ukrainian drone pilot keeps control and guides the FPV drone in with deadly accuracy. Target hit. Game over. But here's what's really interesting. Russia's electronic warfare systems, once feared across the battlefield, are starting to show cracks. Back in 2022 and 2023, systems like the Krasuka 4 and Ztel were able to jam most Ukrainian drones, especially commercial models and short-range FPVs. But now, Ukrainian forces are adapting fast. With the use of fiber optic control systems, AI, guided drones like Switchblade, and hardened signal protocols, Ukrainian drone pilots are punching right through the jamming. A recent report from the Royal United Services enemy artillery goes up in flames. Nearby, a 152mm howitzer comes into view. Ukraine launches long-range FPV drones to hit it. This time, the drone operators aim right for the barrel, and for good reason. If there's a hole in the barrel, gases escape, the shell won't fire properly, and in some cases, the shell might even blow up inside the barrel before it ever leaves the gun. And here's another one, a high-power Russian electronic warfare system. Despite all the jamming signals flooding the area, metal shards flying everywhere. Flames crawl inside, and just a few minutes later, boom, the ammo goes off in a massive explosion. Now check this out. It's a Russian electronic warfare system, the kind they use to jam Ukrainian drones. But today, things are different. Ukraine launches an FPV drone, locked on target, direct hit, target destroyed. Then another FPV drone is sent in, going after a similar EW system. Same result, another enemy asset gone. And now, a Russian AASIA artillery unit, this thing can lob shells up to 20 kilometers, so Ukraine doesn't wait. They deploy an FPV drone, and just like that, bang. Direct hit. A question that's making the whole world stop and think. If even the most advanced electronic warfare systems can't stop a drone that costs just a few $100s, is Russia and maybe the entire world underestimating the role of compact, flexible technology in modern warfare? Has the era of million-dollar radar systems come to an end, replaced by cheap, deadly drones that can change the course of battle? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And if you want to keep exploring elite tactics, cutting-edge military tech, and the frontline stories mainstream media won't touch, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Rusi stated that, in some parts of the front, up to 60% of Ukrainian FPV drones are still able to hit their targets, even under active Russian jamming. What does that tell us? That even the most advanced Russian EW systems can't keep up with the pace of battlefield innovation. When a drone can navigate through a jamming field, slam into a multi-million-dollar radar truck, and turn it into scrap, it's not just a strike. It's a message. The electronic battlefield is no longer one-sided. But here's the institute. Rusi stated that, in some parts of the front, up to 60% of Ukrainian FPV drones are still able to hit their targets, even under active Russian jamming. What does that tell us? That even the most advanced Russian EW systems can't keep up with the pace of battlefield innovation. When a drone can navigate through a jamming field, slam into a multi-million-dollar radar truck, and turn it into scrap, it's not just a strike. It's a message. The electronic battlefield is no longer one-sided. But here's the metal shards flying everywhere. Flames crawl inside, and just a few minutes later, boom, the ammo goes off in a massive explosion. Now check this out. It's a Russian electronic warfare system, the kind they use to jam Ukrainian drones. But today, things are different. Ukraine launches an FPV drone, locked on target, direct hit, target destroyed. Then another FPV drone is sent in, going after a similar EW system. Same result, another enemy asset gone. And now, a Russian AASIA artillery unit, this thing can lob shells up to 20 kilometers, so Ukraine doesn't wait. They deploy an FPV drone, and just like that, bang. Direct hit.